Gary, thank you very much. Gary Tugman from the Kennedy Visitor Center here at Kennedy Space Center. I was talking earlier about the number of people here, the NASA employees who are working at this very hour trying to come to grips with what has happened, trying already to try to understand what went wrong. Even the NASA administrator, Sean O'Keefe, is here. He has been comforting the families of the astronauts who perished today aboard Columbia. He is now briefing other government officials and indeed briefing government executives who will be helping NASA as it reaches out to recover debris and to bring together the evidence that hopefully will provide a basis to avoid future tragedy. He's also working with the congressional leaders to explain and brief them as best he can in these early hours about this tragedy. The answers, of course, will be long in coming. The analysis will be rigorous, and it will take many hours, many days, and one suspects many months. And the process has already begun, and obviously the process of grieving is well underway. Back to you, Cooper Anderson.
Lou, thanks very much. In all the talk of the investigations that will no doubt be coming in the weeks and months to follow, it is very easy to lose sight of the people whose lives were lost. I want to show a picture right now of the 7 astronauts who perished earlier today aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia. When you look at that photograph, you see the diversity that is America, the diversity that is the space program, black and white, men and women. A naturalized American citizen, a woman born in India, became an American citizen, became an astronaut in 1994, and an Israeli citizen, colonel in the Israeli Air Force, Ilan Ramon, all perished today. We are going to go now to Jerusalem, where a man by the name of Neil Weisbrod is standing by. He began a documentary and is still in the process of shooting a documentary about Ilan Ramon and about this mission of the Space Shuttle Columbia, and we are very pleased that he joins us here today. Are you there, Mr. Weisbrod?
Yeah, I'm here.
What are your thoughts at this moment?
It's a very sad day. Well, I've been working on this film for 4.5 years, and I had the great privilege and now the tragic privilege of having met and worked with Ilan for so many years and having met the entire crew of STS-107. And I did get to know them quite well and work with them. And you'll see a picture here of them taking samples of blood, which later on they would check with samples that they were to take in space. It was a great privilege having known them, and I feel a great personal loss as well as a loss for all of America and Israel.
This is a story that is obviously receiving a great deal of attention in Israel right now. Tell us what Ilan Ramon meant to many Israelis.
Well, Ilan was a symbol, first of all, of being part of the great space adventure, being part of this great adventure in space, which Israel could not possibly do alone without the help and participating in the United States space program. Right now, in the pictures that you see from the film, it's ironic. You see the crew in a simulation, working in the simulator, getting ready for a landing simulation, which is where they all met their unhappy end. But you see the commander, Rick Husband, invited us to participate with him during the simulation of a landing. And you can see here Ilan is saying he's putting up his thumbs up and saying he's all ready for landing. And then Rick Husband, the commander, resets the simulator for landing. And they go through the whole process. And they did this over and over and over to make sure just that no such tragedy would happen.
Tell us a little bit.
Me, having sat there.
Sorry, tell us a little bit about Colonel Ramon's background. I mean, this is a man who had been on many combat missions for the state of Israel, had been in danger many times, but he accepted danger, did he not?
Yeah, I think he accepted danger, and he said on many occasions that it was more dangerous to ride on the roads in Israel than it was to get into the space shuttle. But his wife, Rona, on the other hand, I think always was aware of the danger of getting into such a tremendous machine with such an amazing amount of fuel and energy, and the danger, I think, she was aware of it from the beginning, and said that she would wait. He wanted to to be on the launch and during the 2 weeks up in space, and she wanted to see him on the ground, which of course never happened.
And Mr. Ramon has a family. I believe he has 4 children, a wife in Tel Aviv. Have you heard anything from them today, anything from his family?
Well, they were all, of course, in Florida, Cape Canaveral, waiting to watch the landing. When I saw on television that the families were taken off the stands where they came to watch, I knew that something must be wrong. And now you're looking at pictures. It was very important for Ilan, whose parents were both Holocaust survivors, to do something meaningful for him and to show that somehow he survived to get into space, even though it was the desire to have his family wiped out. And this is a picture that was drawn in the concentration camp Theresienstadt by a young 14-year-old boy that was later murdered. And the picture survived, and Ilan took it to space with him. And it was very meaningful for him to do that.
And no doubt he...
And I have to say that...
I'm sorry, go on.
I just have to say that Rick Husband said, and he also says it in the film, he was a believing Christian. And because of this, he was very open to letting Ilan do things that were symbolic for him as well and for the entire nation of Israel. And I think that Rick and Husband and all of the crew, it's a terrible tragedy that these wonderful people were to meet such an end.
It certainly is. Neil Weisbrod, we appreciate you coming in, sharing your thoughts and your pictures with us today. Thank you very much on this difficult day.
But the good that comes out of this is that we can be comforted in knowing that this crew of STS-107 is a crew that loved what they were doing, knew it was important, sacrificed their lives for it. And so we're going to be more committed than ever to make sure that the space program continues and pushes forward, because the best tribute we could pay them is to do the things that they love doing, and that's exploring space.
Talking with a number of the employees here, one man in particular saying to me that he was still in shock. He hadn't even had the opportunity, having lived through 2 previous tragedies, that is the launch pad fire, Apollo 1, and Challenger in 1986. He hadn't even been able to come to terms with the loss at this point.
Well, I think Evelyn Husband, the wife of Rick Husband, understands how to deal with the loss. And through her faith, she has pulled the families together. You got to realize that this family has been together longer than most crews, because this shuttle has been put off and put off. So they've been together well over 20 months. They've gotten to know each other and love each other. And Evelyn has shown the strength of her faith to understand what is going on here, and understand that the God that she believes in is a loving God, and will comfort them and get them through this.
Congressman Tom DeLay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lou.
We're going to turn now to my colleague, Rusty Dornan in Houston. Rusty?
I think some of the best evidence, Lou, about how hard hit folks were here at Johnson Space Center is that while President Bush was addressing the nation, folks in Mission Control were being seen by a grief counselor. Everyone here just always describes it as this incredibly tight-knit community, like a family. That the folks, when they think about sending humans into space, that it's not a job, it's a passion, and that they are devastated by the loss of these 7 families, and they feel that something, it could have been anything they could have done to have stopped it, that it has really hit them hard. Now, just outside Johnson Space Center, there has been a makeshift memorial set up, and there are hundreds of people there that are putting flags from all over, putting flowers. Also, all of the businesses here in Houston, most of them have already put their flags at half-mast. They've got signs up on their merchants saying, the merchants have their signs up saying that how much sympathy they want to give to the families. Now, as you know, that the flights are on future hold here, but they say their job will go on, that the training here will go on, the training of astronauts will go on, but right now they are grief-stricken. Lou?
Well, Rusty Dornan in Houston, thank you very much. The fact of the matter is that, as Congressman Tom DeLay was saying, the NASA Space Centers all over the country today began the process of analyzing of what went wrong. They are trying to come to grips with it. And this Space Center, Kennedy Space Center, which is, if you will, along with Johnson, the primary, the epicenter of America's space exploration efforts, the fact of the matter is that I can recall vividly Dan Golden, the former NASA administrator, talking with great pride about how the risk of the shuttle program in particular had been diminished. But he was forever reminding all of us the risks remained, and they were still substantial.